What we're focusing on for this jump is how to fly a proper outfacing slot, which can be difficult because you can't see as much and therefore you don't have as much information on levels and proximity. Okay, so always practice your full climb out. This first jumper will do a floater exit and give the count. Keep your hips and shoulders presented to the relative wind. And the inside jumper will take side body grips and give a leg shake when they're ready. You want to have your left foot forward and your weight on your back right leg. Turn and build a star once the formation is quiet. First jumper will lay a base while you take turns presenting a side body and then a cat, and then turn back into a star from the direction you came. Make sure to take a breath and pause between points because it's extra important to fly your slot and maintain levels when you prepare to outface. The reason we set up this drill with side bodies is so you can practice getting to the cat in stages. The trick to outfacing well is to not turn all the way out, but more of a 170-degree turn rather than a 180. And that way you can still get some information on your distance from the formation and your levels out of your peripheral vision. And notice how we never stop looking over our shoulders and then turn back into the star from the way we came. Be sure to plan appropriate break off and enjoy your skydive. I'm going to let the whole jump play through once and then we'll talk about a debrief. Okay. I give a leg shake to let him know I'm ready. He gives a strong count. And there's a little bit of turn on the hill, which is pretty typical for launching a side body. I probably dove out a little too hard, but the floater can prevent that if you anticipate it happening by inducing a little bit of a right turn and turning into the formation as you launch. And that'll help keep the formation up the line of flight. Make sure to keep a nice slow pace and pause between points. So for the cat, you can take either leg grips. He has an outside and an inside, which will make more sense if you don't do a perfect out-facing cat. Those are just going to be the grips that are easier to reach. So what I mean by a little bit of a cheated cat is this is Jacob's line, and I am kind of off to the side a little bit, and that lets me still see him out of my peripherals. Make sure to turn back in the way you came and never take your eyes off the base. I want to talk a little bit about levels. I think this view is a little better. Okay, so when you're in facing, it is really easy to be perfectly on level. And if we go back a little bit, when you're out facing, you can see I'm tilted up a little bit more. And I think that's pretty typical for a cat. And it either could be because there's a little bit of burble on the legs, so you don't have as much air pressure to push you forward. I also might be subconsciously kind of like looking up and over my shoulder, trying not to lose sight. But you really want to think about, I should be pressed more down in the front so that I don't risk backing up into the base. And I think that causes a little bit of an issue on this next jump here. So Jacob said he was concerned about not flying away from the base too much. And I think he might have backed up a little bit, and it's a good thing we had gentle docks, because if we were a little bit more aggressive with the docks and using them for stability, or if we were any more off level, that formation definitely would have funneled. I also want to point out that Jacob did a great job at breakoff of making sure to do a slow turn away and then start his track, because you never know if you start the breakoff when you're in a side body, if you both just turn 180, you're not going to fly directly away from the center. So you really want to turn. We can see each other by looking underneath and making sure we are flying perfectly away, and have a nice safe breakoff.